Ladies and gentlemen, before we dig into the video, a quick announcement. Kaizen Training, that's me, Barkwan, Omar Isaf. We have a bunch of different programs to help you reach your goals, whether it's hypertrophy, strength, fat loss, whatever it is. And right now we're running a spring special. Use code SPRING18 and get 30% off any program you want. Limited time, check it out. We're also opening up our very limited group coaching. We have a Facebook group, we all chat. You get your form critiqued, you get to check in once a week with our homie Nigel, who's a super intelligent, strong coach. Check it out, kaizentraining.com. Link will be in the description, also in the comments. 30% off all programs, grab them now. And into the topic of the day, which is the keto diet. My experience with it, what I think is good about it, what I think is bad about it, how and when I used it, and who maybe I would recommend it for. For those that maybe don't know much about it, it's a higher fat diet, moderate protein, and very low carb diet. So typically what you'll do is you'll want about 60 to 70% of your overall calories coming from fat, 20 to 30 from protein, and then maybe 10%, 5% or less coming from carbohydrates. This was first kind of brought about for epilepsy and to help other diseases. Our man, Dr. D'Agostino, I believe he's in Florida, he's studying all about it to help with different immune diseases and other things to help people be a little bit healthier and live a healthier life. It has gotten more popular in kind of the performance world or dieting world, as some professional bodybuilders and other people will use it to cut weight and to be in a calorie deficit. I tried it kind of based on a diet called the Carb Night, probably 8 years ago or so. I did it for maybe a year or two, living that low carb lifestyle, ketoed out of my mind, and I've gone through different cycles of it, trying different things. The rest of the video I'm going to kind of talk about, again, my experience, who I maybe think it's for, and it's going to be in regards to performance and people with an overall healthy life. Not talking about immune diseases or other things, so you can do your own research or comments on those things if you'd like, but that's not who I'm talking about. I'm talking about someone who's generally speaking healthy and is just focused on performance, looking better, and kind of living a normal life, or using this as a regular diet. For myself, you know, the benefits I see, or for any individual, Con Air, the guy who edits and crushes all these videos, helping him do a little bit of keto with his own diet, and the things I think that can really help it out, or I can't even think straight. It's not picking it up, I just can't think.
We're in some sort of metal factory.
Yeah. Fortnite. The benefits of it that I think it can help some people is that it's insanely simple. For the most part, you just avoid carbs. No sugars, no carbs, no anything like that. And eat kind of red meat, eggs, things with higher fat. You can eat cheeses and different condiments that have a higher fat, and you can get away with it while you're traveling. It's very simple. Another effect that I had, or that keto had on me, I found that I was very satiated. Very often would go a full day and almost forget to eat, and that's the first time in my life. Coming from an inner fat kid who loves food, I'm constantly thinking about food. I always want to eat. My appetite's through the freaking roof, especially when I'm training heavy. On keto, after you get adjusted to it, my appetite just happened to go down, you know, and fat, eating high amounts of fat and protein tend to keep people pretty satiated. So that's another benefit, that if you have a really high appetite, this may help you out as well. Generally speaking, for me, myself, and and maybe some of you, the other benefit of keto is that you get to eat pretty good food. You know, things that I find delicious, steaks, eggs, etc. I ate In-N-Out Burger. I would even eat Chipotle and just not get rice or beans, or very minimal beans in a bowl, something of that nature. But it's foods that I look forward to eating. Chicken wings here and there, some types of sushi, and different foods that were very easy to stick to and were still satisfying to eat by taste. And they're fully on the diet and work very well. I do like to eat a variety of vegetables, and that's something on keto you don't typically do. Most recommend very green vegetables or low amounts of vegetables, as veggies do have some carbs in them, and if you start to eat higher amounts, then you know it may kick you out of ketosis and mess with your insulin, blah 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 blah, neither here nor there. I guess going into some of the negatives of keto that I experienced myself, and I've heard others experience, is that my energy, as I was powerlifting during the time, and maybe even playing basketball, I can't remember, but my energy was really low. I'd get through maybe a lift or two, and then my energy would just plummet. I wouldn't be able to get through the workout or recover from a workout as I would as if I was eating carbs of similar calories. And this may be just my experience, but I've heard others do the same or feel the same. Another thing is not only when I'm adjusting to the diet, but also just sometimes I would have a dull headache. In general, generally feel pretty lethargic. My energy daily, although sipping the same amount of caffeine, coffee, or whatever as I would while I'm eating carbohydrates, I would just generally feel kind of low energy and slow moving. Sometimes my thoughts were a little clear, but I feel like my thinking or my cognitive function was about the same as if I was eating carbs, but my body energy, getting up, lifting, walking, whatever, was always a little bit down. One of the major issues I found, trying to be a little bit more self-aware, looking back on doing the carb night or a ketogenic style diet for myself, is that I would have refeeds as per that exact diet. And I know some ketogenic diets may not, or other people might have cheat meals or whatever it might be, but it would be every 7 to 10 days. It would be a carbohydrate night where you kind of reset the system or get some glycogen in you to restore everything. And for me, what that led to is kind of a bad mental state of kind of the refeed binge, feel guilty, restrict myself, binge again type mentality, where I would literally be focused in on Friday because I could get that ice cream, rather than now, kind of tracking my food or being a little bit more intuitive with my eating, or just portion control, whatever you might want to call it. I just kind of fit in a little bit more of the junk food or things I like to eat in moderation throughout my week, and mentally I'm not focused on food as much as I was then. Although I know I said before that I wasn't hungry as much, so I wasn't thinking about my next meal, I was overall looking forward to that refeed, and then I'd end up probably binging or overdoing it more than I should, and then I'd feel bad about it, and then I'd go ultra restrictive for the next 7 to 10 days. I just think it could lead to a very bad cycle, especially if you have some type of addictive personality like myself and many people out there. It just led to a dirty cycle that I didn't want to get involved in, and now I'm in a little bit healthier relationship with food. Growing up, I just never really, even though my mom's pretty smart with nutrition, has a good general idea of it, and would cook us good dinners, I never had any idea of kind of moderation or portion control and tracking my food kind of on its own. I got that lesson and taught it to myself. You can track, and I do recommend you still track your food while you're doing a ketogenic diet, because studies have shown that overall calorie intake is going to be the defining factor when you're talking about body composition, whether gaining weight or losing weight, both ketogenic or carbohydrate style diet. Generally speaking, I think there's lifestyle things, there's the type of foods you like to eat, what sports you're into, how important your performance is, and maybe how your body reacts. That will kind of dictate for yourself what style of diet might work best for your lifestyle. I think that if you're powerlifting, playing basketball, football, soccer, something of that nature, eating carbohydrates not only will allow you to perform better, but also recover better. Tracking your food or having an idea of how many calories you're taking in with some quality micronutrients, vitamins, minerals, which often come from fruits and vegetables, having something a little bit more well-balanced both mentally and physically in your lifestyle is going to be best overall. But I would recommend, talk to a doctor if you have an health issue, because some of these diets may help you out. And if you are healthy, maybe try experimenting with a different style diet for anywhere from 6 to 8 weeks. See how it affects you, both lifestyle-wise, mental-wise, and physically. I think those are going to be important for you to kind of run mini experiments on yourself to figure it out. Again, guys, appreciate you. 30% off all programs, spring 18, kaizentraining.com. Head towards your goals. I appreciate you. Catch you in the next video. Salam Mike. Alan Thrall's butt. We're out of here.